almost felt like I had some power there. So I really appreciate you doing that for me. Good evening, friends and colleagues. Welcome to the Taj Palace. My name is Shahan Thampapillai, and I'm the Director of International at CQUniversity. I also have the pleasure of being your MC this evening as we celebrate 20 glorious years in Asia. Tonight is a celebration of CQUniversity having a presence in this region for 20 years, where we have been lucky enough, with the help of those of you in this room, to welcome over 28,000 students from this region over that period of time. This evening, we will also celebrate our 10-year anniversary of our partnership with Salam Balak Trust. So it is fantastic that we have been joined tonight by students, alumni, and staff from this wonderful organization. This partnership truly epitomizes one of CQUniversity's core values, and that is to create greater access to education. I would like to also take this opportunity to welcome and acknowledge our friends and colleagues from Austrade, the Australian High Commission, and Trade and Investment Queensland. I would also like to welcome our colleagues from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapitham, ITM Group, OP Jindal Global University, and Shulini University of Biotechnology and Management Sciences. We are also very fortunate to have our corporate guests joining us from HCL Tech, along with our own alumni from CQUniversity. I would also like to acknowledge our host for the evening, Professor Nick Klomp, the Vice Chancellor and President of CQUniversity. We're very fortunate to be joined by his senior colleagues in Professor Steve Hall, the Dean of the School of Science, Engineering and Technology, Professor Lee D'Amelia, Dean of the School of Business and Law, and Professor Grant Stanley, Vice President, Research. Last but certainly not least, welcome to our education partners. Excuse me. From all around South Asia who are here today. What we have achieved in this region has been possible because of your strong support. Tonight is a celebration, so please take the opportunity to mingle with each other after the formalities of this evening has come to a close. To our presenters and performers, we will be working to a tight schedule, as you and I are the only ones standing in the way between this big crowd and dinner tonight. To help keep us to time, I will approach the stage when there is 1 minute remaining of your allocated time so that you can start to wrap up. Please don't be offended, as this is being done to simply keep us to schedule. We have also been running a competition for the best posts on social media using the hashtag CQUSouthAsia20. We actually have 4 iPhone 14s to give away tonight, so make sure you post and tweet tonight's proceedings on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter using that handle, as we will be picking the winners at the end of the formalities tonight. Posts that say that what a great MC I have been may just make themselves up the pile to be chosen tonight. Before we officially start our evening, I would like to invite the Director of Security of the Taj Palace to provide us with a quick briefing on the emergency protocols of this venue. Thank you once again for being here tonight, and I'm looking forward to having a great evening.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Taj Palace Hotel. My name is Jitendra. I am here to brief our hotel safety and security. Today we are in Darbar Hall. In this hall we have 2 fire exits. 2 our this side on the right, which lead toward the Raja Bagh and Rani Bagh, and 2 on the left side, which lead toward the staff associate entrance, which lead toward the Abhay Marg also. Our hotel associates are well planned and trained for any kind of emergency like medical and fire and other emergencies. Please do not hesitate to contact them in any kind of emergency. There is no mock drill planned for the day. Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that useful information and helping us catch up on a little bit of time. It may come in handy what has just been mentioned, because we're about to add some fire to the proceedings. So just remember where the fire exit was that the gentleman just pointed out. I would like to invite Ms. Monica Kennedy, Senior Trade and Investment Commissioner, Austrade, and Deputy Consul General. Are we doing rounds of applause after each name? Let's go. Let's do it. Beautiful. Mr. Matthew Johnston, Minister Councillor, Education and Research, Australian High Commission. Mr. Abhinav Bhatia, Senior Trade and Investment Commissioner, South Asia, Trade and Investment, Queensland. And Professor Nick Klomp, Vice President and Vice Chancellor and President, CQUniversity, Australia. They will now proceed to light the knowledge lamp. Thank you very much. All right, thank you so much for that, and that was a beautiful gesture to kick off the night. I would now like to invite Professor Nick Klomp to officially open tonight's proceedings with his opening address. Please join me in welcoming Professor Nick Klomp.
Thank you, Shahan, and thank you for acknowledging all the distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight. It's an absolute celebration. From humble beginnings 20 years ago when Sumit and Ruchika started our South Asia operations to what we see today, it has grown from strength to strength. I had the pleasure yesterday of opening their third floor extension of their offices, and they're now something like 120 staff in the operations here. So that's a reason to celebrate anyway, but really the big reason to celebrate is the 28,000 students that we have helped get an international education. Let's think about that for a second. Students from Bhutan and Bangladesh and Nepal and Pakistan and Sri Lanka and of course here from India, helping them get access to world-class international education and along the way joining forces with us as we offer scholarships and internships and work-integrated placements and engaged research and all that support that we pride ourselves on at CQUniversity. It's been a busy few days. We've been catching up with tech companies and other universities and all sorts of partnerships which will help describe our next 20 years. But one of the things that I did yesterday was meet up with all the media, and the media in India are really serious. It was India Today and IANS and the Press Club of India and the Statesman all there asking the tough questions. But one of the questions they asked me was, why is this important? And I think that was one of the best questions of the day, actually. I was delighted to hear that, because this is why it's important to celebrate 20 years. It isn't just all the things we've done, it's this. We've changed lives. We've changed the lives of not just 28,000 students, if you think that's not enough. We've changed the lives of all their families, because those 28,000 people have not only had a better career, better earning opportunities, better career choices, but of course they've influenced their families, their friends, their neighbours, other people have turned to them and seen that they could do it, so perhaps they saw an opportunity for themselves as well. So whilst we're really busy dealing with visas and entry applications and all the work that you have done in our partners in joining us over the last 20 years, And I know that some days we're absolutely snowed under with all the work. Just remind yourself every now and again how important it is of what we've achieved. It really is something to celebrate. I'm delighted that you could all be here tonight to celebrate with us. Something that I also take really seriously, and I know that you look for this as well, and that is CQUniversity recognises that it's a really big investment to pursue an international career. It's a huge investment in money of the student and of the family. It's a huge investment of time and effort, and it might be scary. So you can imagine a whole lot of people just wouldn't attempt to do this. And through our partners, we make sure that we try and make that journey as easy as possible in all that support. And then when they get to Australia, we double that and really make sure we support our students. But there's another reason, another way that we can support that investment, and that is the return on investment. And we recognise that that is genuinely really important. The best way for us to show a return on investment for all of all the students' work and all the support you give them is to make sure they get a job, a high-paying job. And if you didn't know, CQUniversity is very proud. We are one of the best universities in Australia for graduate employment rates, regularly in the top few across Australia. We're also regularly the top in the starting salaries of our graduates. So it's a huge return on investment, and we recognise how important that is. There's something else. You may have heard about it or you may not have, because we're the only university in Australia that does this. It's called the Graduate Guarantee, and it redoubles our commitment on return on investment. It goes like this. If you're an undergraduate student at CQUniversity and you finish your degree in any of the disciplines and you don't have a job in your discipline within 6 months, we will give you for free a postgraduate course in entrepreneurship and leadership. For free. It's quite the only university in Australia, thank you. And yes, it might cost me money. I'm pretty confident that our students walk straight into jobs, so we're pretty confident about that. But what it does, it puts the acid on the Vice-Chancellor. It makes sure that I put my money where our mouth is and make sure that we ensure that the students that you support to get to Australia, that invest their time and money and effort, that they walk away with a great return on investment. That's how sure we are that we've got the right courses and the right contacts with industry and the right engagement and placements and internships that allow them to walk into jobs. Speaking of partnerships and all the great people here partnering with us over the last 20 years, one of the partnerships that we're most proud of is our support of the Salam Balak Trust. And they're here tonight, and it's our 10th year of support of the Salam Balak Trust. I hope that applause is all to the Salam Balak Trust. They do an amazing job. So I know it's very well known in India. I just was so impressed when I heard all about the Salam Balak Trust and how they support street kids from the street, and not only do they support them for their living and give them accommodation and food, but they also support their education. And CQUniversity for the last 10 years has supported their cost of living and education costs for those that want to go on to a higher education. This is not about CQUniversity. This is not about dragging them off to Australia and giving a couple of scholarships. We're talking 85 students so far that we've supported that have gone on to get a higher education degree, and some of those graduates are here tonight. I'm really looking forward to catching up with them, and they've gone on to take amazing jobs. I understand that one of them is a manager of the Reserve Bank of India, and accountants and air hostesses and fashion designers and photographers, and amazing. You just look, well done, yes. Amazing, amazing. And what does that show? It shows that if you give someone an opportunity, of course they're capable of great things if they've got the support. You have provided the support to so many students that are thinking about getting an international higher education. We guarantee that we'll support them when they get here. We're very, very confident that they're going to walk away with a high-paying job, and I think that that is all reasons to celebrate 20 years of achievement. But folks, if you think the last 20 years have been great, you should see some of the things that we've got planned for the next few years and the next few decades. I'm looking forward to telling you all about that, but I should stop now and just stop on this final word. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. You've made what we have achieved over the last 20 years. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Professor Klomp. If the COVID pandemic has taught us anything, it is that we don't need to be physically present to be able to participate in an activity. It therefore gives me great pleasure to play a short message from Senator Anthony Chisholm, who is the Assistant Minister for Education within the Australian Government.
Today marks an important milestone for CQUniversity, being the 20-year anniversary since they first established in-country operation in Gurgaon, New Delhi. Over the last decade, CQUniversity has had more than 30,000 students commence studies at the institution from the South Asian region. It goes without saying that a quality education is of tremendous value to those individuals as well as their communities. But international students also enrich Australia in so many ways, and we are genuinely pleased to welcome them to our shores. I look forward to welcoming many more CQUniversity students from India and South Asia over the years to come. This also marks the 10-year anniversary of CQUniversity's partnership with the Salam Balak Trust. Salam Balak is doing incredibly important work and cares for over 5,000 at-risk children every year, providing these children with safety and security, as well as access to healthcare, nutrition, counselling and education. In Australia, CQUniversity is ranked #1 for social equity amongst all Australian universities, which reflects their belief that a higher education should be for everyone, no matter their postcode or personal circumstance. I'm pleased to see that CQUniversity's vision applies equally in India as it does here in Australia. CQUniversity's partnership with the Salam Balak Trust reminds us of the importance and joy of giving back to our communities. I congratulate CQUniversity Vice Chancellor and President, Professor Nick Klomp, and his team on a genuinely important milestone. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much, Senator Chisholm, and I probably should yell it really loudly so he hears us back in Australia, but I think if we can just give him one more round of applause, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. I would like to now invite Ms. Monica Kennedy, who is the Senior Trade and Investment Commissioner in Austrade and the Deputy Consul General from Mumbai, India. Before Ms. Kennedy joins us, though, I would like to acknowledge the tremendous support we have received from her and her team in India, not only in relation to this event, but also in her support of what CQUniversity does in this region. Thank you, Monica.
Thanks, Ashan, and welcome everybody. How wonderful to be here at the celebration with you tonight. Thank you very much, CQUniversity, for inviting the Australian Government along. We do share a very close relationship across our government agencies with CQUniversity. We're really proud to be here celebrating with you. I wanted to share before I started, and I only have 5 minutes, and I promise I'll stick to them, but I wanted to share a story. Professor Klomp asked the question, why is this important? And I thought about how important it is to students, and an image came to mind of a trip that I did not long after arriving. I've just finished my first year here in South Asia, absolutely loving it. But within a couple of weeks of arriving last year, I had I had a trip back to Australia, and I arrived on a plane on the 24th of December. Now, some of you who are working as education partners might recognise the dates around that time as being the first dates when students were returning to Australia. And I got off a flight from Delhi into Sydney with about, 400 or so young people who were coming to Australia to start their studies. It was like nothing you've ever seen. The airport was full of people and the noise was extraordinary. And as I was standing waiting for my bags to come off, I began talking with a couple of guys who were just starting their studies. And the excitement in their voices was incredible. We talked about what they would do the next day, Christmas Day, in Sydney, and I think they had in mind that the streets would be full, and that they'd go and eat street food or something. But Sydney closes down, so I sent them off to the cathedral and then to the beach with a picnic, and they called me afterwards to say it was a fabulous Christmas. This is a little way of coming back to a story, which is why this is important. This is important because it celebrates that experience 28,000 times. It is important because we don't just run universities and give credentials. We have the opportunity to change people's lives, and it's wonderful. And all the people in this room are partners in that. We've seen students returning really strongly. I think it was a great indication of the strong relationship that Australia has with India, that it continues to have, a really strong recognition of the growth in aspiration in India, and the recognition that I think in India and right across South Asia, we're seeing for the value and credibility of an Australian qualification. There's a recognition too that in Australia, educational institutions are willing to do things differently. CQU is at the forefront of this, of course. But the quality of the Australian education system is something that ensures loyalty to us, because a credential that you earn in Australia is something that takes you across the world and puts you in good stead for life. And so the experience of being in Australia, the safety, the lifestyle, the beaches, frankly, the fabulous clean air, the community that welcomes international students, all contributes to the future that students have when they come to us. But it is that deep experience, an educational and a lifestyle experience that people will take away and hold with them to set themselves up for life. I talked about CQUniversity doing things differently, and they proudly do. They began with an agenda of access and support. They focus on continuity into life through employability, and you've heard how confident they are about that. Thank you, Professor Klomp, for the guarantee. But it's an indication, I think, CQUniversity's willingness to do things differently is something that illustrates the confidence that CQUniversity has in itself as an institution, and itself as an institution within the Australian environment. And all of these things come together to make something very well worth celebrating. And I'm really happy, again, to have a chance to be celebrating with you tonight. Thank you very much again, everyone, for having the Australian government here today.
I should have noted that for our colleagues and our friends who will come to speak, after you finish speaking, please join Professor Klomp for a photo off stage. Thank you very much, Ms. Kennedy. We will now change the pace of our evening to... let me start again. We will now change the pace of our evening as we showcase our partnership with Salam Balak Trust. I would like to invite Mr. Anubhav Nath to speak more about our partnership, introduce us to the Salam Balak Trust students, and also our alumni.
Hello. Firstly, thank you so much for having us over here at this in front of this august audience. And looking at everyone here, immediately the words that come to my mind are Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, meaning that the world is nothing but one family. And that is also the role that CQ University has played in the lives of our children at the Salam Balak Trust. We all consider you as our family. Thank you for playing that role in our lives. In the 1980s, Meera Nair's acclaimed film, Salam Bombay, revealed the dark underbelly of Mumbai's streets where several childhoods were at stake. This was pretty much the first time when, sorry, it's good? Okay. It was pretty much the first time when we saw this being relayed on TV. People knew about it, they spoke about it, but it was never seen in this kind of a way. A combination of socio-economic and political circumstances created a large population of children at risk, living and working on the streets of India. Salam Balak Trust, known commonly as SBT, is a not-for-profit, non-governmental organization based here in Delhi, operating in the National Capital Region of Delhi, reaching out and providing services to the most vulnerable of street children. We had very humble beginnings. We started with just 3 staff and 25 children at the New Delhi railway station and have today grown to 250 full-time staff members, 19 centers, which includes 7 full-time care residential homes, of which 2 are for girls, 9 contact points, which basically means day centers, and 3 child lines, which is the emergency 1098 helpline that is there all over India. To date, we have provided care for over 120,000 vulnerable children. 120,000. Our shelters have provided to 32,000 children, of whom 24,000 have been restored back to their families. Our literacy programs have reached out to 66,000 children, and through our various vocational training programs, we have reached out to 4,500 children. I couldn't agree more with Professor Klump when he mentioned that when given an opportunity, each child will shine. And that is exactly the role that CQ is helping us in serving our children further and better. For the last 10 years, CQ University has been helping in multiple ways and with multiple projects and programs. And we couldn't be more grateful for your support to the organization. In these 10 years, nearly 80 children have gotten access to higher education, of whom 62 have already completed their higher education and are now financially independent and are supporting their families in various ways. This makes nearly 200 vulnerable lives impacted by the CQ University. And these are the people who would have otherwise been in the perennial circuit of poverty and would have found it difficult to break out of it. This is all thanks to the support by CQ University. And over here, I would also like to mention that it is rather challenging for us to get support for the higher educations, primary schooling and high school, middle school. All those are relatively easier to get access to and support for. So thank you, CQ University, for playing that role. And now that we are getting out of COVID, the whole, the lockdowns that happened, so though the last 2 years were particularly turbulent for us in this sector, where we really did not know how we are going to cope up with the expenses, with so many other things. And at this time, we really realized our partnerships and our partners who were actually family. And again, CQ University was very, very supportive. There were no cuts in our grants. It all remained the same, which is a big one because there were others where we had to reallocate, where grants were reallocated. So this was a very, very big one for us. And also the CQ University has been supporting us at the City Walk program, which is basically a program where our alumni take you through the streets of the New Delhi railway station area, the streets that they grew up on, or streets where they spend their time on. So I would urge all of you to please do look up the program and try to take that walk. It's an eye-opener to the underbelly of Delhi and how we can actually help these children go further. And what we've all been really wanting, we've been waiting for to put across is the children who've been benefited by CQU, and we have them here with us. I call them children, but they're really not children. They are all young adults. Many of them are graduates working, and not just working anywhere, but like even in the esteemed Reserve Bank of India. And in fact, he is going to be speaking over here. And we have a budding lawyer with us. She made it through one of the best schools in the capital for law, and she's going to be talking as well. Then, of course, there's a fashion designer. Other than that, as an organization, we also lay emphasis on the arts and of reformation and rehabilitation through the arts. And, so we have a number of dancers, photographers, world-known photographers, puppeteers, and the like. So I am going to not take too much of your time now because I think it's best to keep these things short. And without much ado, we will have our young adults, many of them financially independent, doing jobs and working and a part of mainstream society now. But I would just like to end my note to you is, thank you CQ University, and all the supporters of CQ must know that CQ is all heart. And that is very important because in this sector, it's not about numbers alone. It's about the heart that matters. And yes, CQ University has a very big heart. And thank you so much for that.
We'll just wait for Abhinav to have his photos, and then he'll come and just introduce the next portion of the schedule. Thanks.
This was something very unfortunate that happened earlier this month. Gaurav, one of our stars, one of our very, very promising young men, he is unfortunately not with us anymore. It was very tragic. And as a mark of respect, I'll request you all to observe a minute of silence. Thank you. Thank you.
Shivam, I think we're going to have the musical performance now. Yep. 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 Anubhav, would you like me to introduce the musical performance? Yep. Oh, they're going to go first? Okay. Sorry, there's been a late change to the schedule. So we're actually going to have our alumni first speak. And our first speaker is going to be Mr. Amit Gupta, who is the manager of the Reserve Bank of India and an SBT alumnus. Please put your hands together.
Hello everyone, very good evening to you all. My name is Amit Kumar Gupta and I'm from Varanasi, an eastern district in the state of Uttar Pradesh. I'm a beneficiary of Salam Balak Trust and CQ Scholarship Assistant, which helped me complete my college degree. At the age of around 9, because of my father's constant beating and scolding, I ran away from my home, got onto a train and reached New Delhi railway station. After wandering around for some time, I ended up being at a tea stall nearby the Hanuman temple in the Connaught Place area of Delhi. In order to survive, I started working in living there, and my job there was to serve tea to the customers and recollect empty cups and glasses and clean them. While working there, I came in touch with one of the outreach worker of Salam Balak Trust, who counseled me and persuaded me to go to the shelter home and start studying instead of working at the tea stall. Hence, I shifted to the shelter home and I got adjusted to the new surrounding very soon. And there at shelter home, I started my studies with non-formal education first, and subsequently I was admitted to a school. And at school, I kept improving gradually and ended up my school with decent score. After my school, I aspired to study engineering degree, and I was extremely lucky to get the CQ Scholarship Assistant, which enabled me to pursue my college degree. After coming out of the college, I joined JLL and worked there for 2 years. And the JLL was like project management consultancy in the field of industrial development. Then I joined India's Central Bank, Reserve Bank of India, after 2 years of service in JLL, after clearing the recruitment process, all the recruitment process. And currently I'm posted in Patna Regional Office of the RBI, and there I'm deputed in Currency Management Department, which looks after the currency circulation in the states of Bihar and Jharkhand. All this journey of mine from the street of Connaught Place and the tea stall to the India Central Bank became possible because I could complete my education with the help of CQUniversity, and the overall mentorship and care I received being at Salam Balak Trust. I'm really thankful to them. Thank you very much. That's all from me, sir.
Thank you very much, Amit. I'd now like to invite Miss Khushbu, who is a fashion designer and an SBT alumnus also.
Hello all, I'm Khushbu and I would be sharing my story with you. I stayed with my mother for a few years, and then she sent me to an NGO when I was very young, and since she could not take care of me because the environment was unsafe and she couldn't take care of me basically. I finally came to SBT when I was 10 years old because I was transferred from a different shelter because I had failed in maths and science. I don't regret that failure because that landed me in an institution like SBT that showed me that there is more to a child than just maths and science. So here I found the freedom and the guidance to express my dreams because in my heart I knew they would stand by me. CQU was something that I heard about when I was growing up, and everyone around me knew that I wanted to be a fashion designer. So I was grateful to have got admissions in one of the only colleges that preach craft, all thanks to CQU for funding my scholarship and my education. Then, after graduating, I worked with brands like Ritu Kumar and Shades of India. But then, of course, the pandemic came and things shook a bit. I did not lose hope, so I started doing some freelancing. When things got better, I got into a marketing and design firm where I'm a senior graphic designer. And I love what I do because people love it too. And my future plans are that I would like to start my own brand that is sustainable and eco-friendly, so that I can support all the other children who needed it just like I did. And last of all, I would like to thank my mentors at SBT and CQU for helping me achieve my dreams and helping me lead a dignified and independent life. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our beloved Nair ma'am. You are loved everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And maths and science is probably highly overrated. We won't say that in front of our professor from Science, Engineering and Technology. The final alumnus which I'd like to ask to speak today is Miss Roshani Raza, who is also an SBT alumnus and currently a student in the BA in the LLB. Oh, sorry, there you are. Sorry, I was looking the wrong way.
Hello, good evening to everyone present here. I'm Roshni, and I am an alumna of SBT, that is Salam Balak Trust. So today I'll be sharing my entire journey with all of you present here. So it goes like, I was 8 years old when I came to SBT because I had lost my father at a very young age, and our mother abandoned my siblings and I because she could not provide us with the basic necessities. Like they say, when one door shuts, another opens. So coming to SBT was the golden ticket. In the starting, it was very difficult to adjust to a new environment like that. But at SBT, I got everything, starting from food, family, education, and most of all, love, which I feel at that age every child deserves or wants. So from the very beginning, I knew I have to focus on my studies a lot because that is the only way through which I knew that I'm going to be independent in future. So looking at my academic records, I was selected in 2010 to study in the most prestigious school, boarding school of India, that is none other than the Lawrence School, Sanar. It's a boarding school located in the Solan Hills in Himachal Pradesh. That's a state in India. So again, a new environment altogether. All my classmates over there belong to a very prestigious family and very rich families. So it was quite difficult for me to adjust there, as I was not very fluent in English, and it was very difficult for me to make friends over there. So, but from the support of my matron out there and my SBT staff member out here, I was able to create my own identity at a different place, far away from my home, and that is SBT. So I scored a 93% in my 12th board exams, and I was keen to pursue law as my career. But BLLB degree is a very high degree, and plus you need a lot of money to pursue that degree. So without the constant support from CQUniversity, I wouldn't have been able to make to an Indian university like Amity. So I'm really thankful to CQUniversity for supporting me and holding my hand at the most crucial point of my life. I'm in my 5th semester currently, and I hope I be a very, very good lawyer in future. And I hope to make CQ and SBT very, very proud of me. So thank you for all the love and support you guys have constantly provided me with. Thank you.
That's so fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Roshani. We are now going to have a musical performance by the Salam Balak Trust students. Yeah, oh, I thought someone was correcting me. How dare you? We're now going to have a musical performance by the Salam Balak Trust students. They're going to do a rendition of a very well-known number, and the song is called I Have a Dream by ABBA.
check, check. I have a dream, a song to sing, to help me through with anything. If you see the wonder of the fairy tale,
just talk amongst yourselves whilst the roadies move the equipment. Good evening, everyone. We are back. And we are back with one last performance from the Salam Balak Trust students. And this is going to be a dance performance. So I'm sure you've got into the mood after the big drum solo there. And this dance performance is called Nacho Nacho. Please put your hands together for the Salam Balak students.
जैसे धूल उड़ा के सींग उठा के तुम भी नाचो बाजे जम के ताल ढोल बेटा राजू उड़ के नाचो हीरो से भी तेज कोई कर सके जो बेद नाचो अस्तबल में घोड़े जैसे भाग डोर छोड़ नाचो की जो तो रोट मोटा मिर्च खा के ऐसे नाचो हाँ जा छोरे हाँ जा गोरे हाँ जा छोरे नाचो 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 वीर नाचो 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 यार नाचो 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 कच्ची केरी जैसा कट्टा नाचो 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 बिच्छू काटा लागे ऐसा नाचो देखो धन्ना के रोकी नाचे शोर सुनो है धमाका जैसे शेर हाथी नाचे दिल का ये मेला यार अपने साथ नाचो रीमों के जोरों पे तुम धड़ाका देसी नाचो पसीना माथे का चमके दम के ऐसे नाचो हाँ जा छोरे हाँ जा गोरे हाँ जा छोरे नाचो 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 वीर नाचो 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 यार नाचो 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 दोबारा राग छेड़ा नाचो 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 उसने चक्का लाके देखा नाचो
Thank you very much. We are running slightly over time, but I don't really care because that was pretty awesome. So please put your hands together once again for the Salam Balak Trust. And thank you also for the heartwarming stories from from Khushbu, Amit, and Roshani. Your stories make me feel even prouder than I am already to work at CQUniversity, and I think we will all walk a little bit taller tonight knowing that we are associated with such a fantastic organization. On the subject of proud, I would now like to invite a few select alumni to share their CQUniversity stories with us. To kick us off will be Mr. Ajit Banerjee, CQU alumnus of 2010, strategic marketer and outreach, brand builder and content strategist for Brute, and an IABCA youth ambassador. Welcome.
Thank you, Shahan. Thank you for this. And I think after that electrifying performance, I think someone like boring as me speaking here, I think it's going to bring the tempo down. But good evening, everyone, and thank you, Professor Nick Klom, for hosting us tonight, and also to our partners from the Australian High Commission and the partner agencies, educational agencies who play a crucial role in bringing students over. 20 years is no small feat in India, and 20 years presence shows the commitment CQU has in providing an excellent education opportunities for Indian students. Tonight I've been given the honor to stand here and give a brief speech. I'll be very quick about it. Incidentally, in 2010 when I graduated from CQU, from the Sydney International Campus, I had the honor to give a speech that time as well, when I received the Campus Leadership Award. But, you know, all those are in the past, and tonight I would like to say my short one-year experience at CQU doing my master's. And the titles you saw tonight underneath my name is all credit to, you know, the course that I did at CQU. I think it was for the first time, I think they had launched this particular master's program called Masters of Creative Enterprise. And that course itself gave me a good confidence into my career growth as well. From starting as a journalist to being a digital marketer to now focusing on content strategy. Everything that I do today, even till date, I often reflect on what has been taught to me during that 1 year at CQU. And that trajectory, that growth is only, you know, courtesy of the professors who were there, who used to constantly push me. For instance, I never knew I had the skill to write. And one of my professors, I still remember the hallway, I just bumped into him once submitting my assignment, and he said, Ari, you need to write well. You can write well, but you need to add a bit more flavor. And, you know, so that constant push, even randomly out of nowhere, would make you think and, you know, do a better job in what you're doing. Incidentally, some of my classmates share similar stories as well. I'm in touch with them. That's the other thing of studying at CQU and studying in Australia in general, the lifelong friendships that you make. 3 of them, we started a business together, applying the principles that we learned at CQU, and we ran a business for 3 years. That's all credit to CQU. Coming back to India, again, it was a similar journey as well. I set up an agency over here, a digital marketing agency. Again, whenever I have to go to a client meeting, I have to give a pitch, I have to run a campaign, cross-cultural, cross-communication, whatever. Those small things that I learned during my master's are those principles that keep popping up in my head constantly in terms of how do I deliver that. So 20 years, congratulations CQU, and you know, we should be looking back to this time hopefully in the next 20 years and celebrate 40 years of CQU, as you rightly put up, Professor Klom. And lastly, it's a service offer from me for free. Anything that the university needs, anything that the university wishes to plan when it comes to India, Australia, reach out to me anytime. And I'm a keen observer, I'm a key believer in this bilateral relationship. And I believe CQU has that position that they can provide. From what I've seen, I could firmly say from a journey, from a course to an experiential journey, to an experiential learning. So all the best and thank you.
Thank you so much, Arijit, for sharing your story with us tonight, and seeing that it's free, we'll definitely take you up on that offer. I would now like to invite Mr. Arun Tekadut, CQU Uni alumnus of 1997, Director Barua Naga Tea Estates, Director Barua Cut Tea Company, former Chairman, Assam Tea Planters Association, to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. I started my CQU journey in 1996, a long time ago. A journey that was both challenging and enjoyable, right from the time I took an ATR hopping flight from Brisbane to the tiny airport of Rockhampton, which we later got to know as Rocky. The attention to detail, the hallmark of the university system, was there for us to see right away from the warm reception we got at the airport, with the university representatives waiting for us to receive us, to the temporary accommodation arrangements that were arranged for us on arrival so that we were not lost in the faraway land down under and we could settle in comfortably. Campus life was a good mix of healthy fun and hard academic grind. The MBA curriculum that I chose was challenging as well as interesting, thanks to our fabulous professors and lecturers. Life on campus, with an excellent library facility and the college residence close by, was conducive to good overall learning experience. If you like the outdoors, Queensland was the place to be. Holidays and weekends were mixed with trips to the beach at Yeppoon and Keppel Islands or diving trips to the Great Barrier Reef. Being a person who enjoyed the outdoors, I didn't miss an opportunity to rent a car and drive up the coast to Cairns or go camping out in the bush on Blackdown tablelands. One person of CQU who requires a special mention for the wonderful 2-year stint we had at CQU in Rocky was a perfect, soft-spoken gentleman who was very closely associated with international students at that time. His name was Mr. Brian Kehoe. Brian was our go-to person for anything and everything. And the best thing about him was his ever-smiling face, and he never said no. Wherever you are, Brian, a big thank you for helping to make our stay at CQU comfortable. After graduating with an MBA from CQU, my onward journey took me on to Singapore and then on to learning the ropes of our family business in growing and manufacturing tea, with which I'm fully involved today. Thank you once again to the entire CQU family for being part of this wonderful journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arun, and it's so great to hear about your fond memories of Rocky, or as it should be called, Rockhampton, but that's what we call it at CQU. It is now my pleasure to invite Ms. Uthri Tekadath, CQU alumna of 1997, entrepreneur, member board of governors IITD-NM, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, director, Apollo Hospitals, Gauthi, director, Webcom, India. Over to you.
Thank you. Good evening. A very big thank you to CQUniversity for having us here today. I landed in Rockhampton on a hot February afternoon 26 years ago. from a bustling Indian airport crawling with people to being the only one getting off that small aircraft that day was a little bit of a culture shock, getting off at Rockhampton. But the moment I reached the CQU campus, I felt instantly at home. The beautifully landscaped CQU campus with friendly and smiling people all around made me feel very, very welcome. CQU Rockhampton was truly a global campus. There were students from all corners of the globe, from Sweden to Sri Lanka, from the US to Taiwan. And the university organized umpteen number of events and get-togethers on campus. So from formal tuxedo dinners to bush dancing parties, we could experience them all at CQU. These get-togethers brought all of us students from different countries and nationalities together, giving us the opportunity to absorb and appreciate one another's cultures, helping us expand our horizons and grow. Some great friends made during my time at CQU remain my closest friends till today. The professors need a special mention. They were great, and they made learning so much fun and interesting too. Some lessons I remember even now, 25 years on. I graduated in 1997. Pictures speak louder than words, so you can see the fun we had. A lot of fun, but we studied hard too. Fast forward to my life now. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a special interest in mentoring young people from my region. I come from the northeastern corner of India, Assam. So I interact with a lot of students, and I'm very involved with my community. I'm grateful for the experiences CQU has offered. These experiences have gone a long way in shaping who I am today. It's been 25 years since my husband and I graduated from CQU, but CQU and Australia remain close to our hearts. We're honored to be here today to celebrate CQU's 20th anniversary here in Asia. May it grow from strength to strength. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uthri, for sharing your story, and congratulations on all your achievements. I would now like to invite our final alumnus for tonight, and that is Mr. Robin Amatia, CQ Uni alumnus of 2008, Bachelor of Business. He is the founding managing director of Patan Community Kitchen, and he was the 2018 Alumnus of the Year for Social Impact. Welcome.
Thank you, CQ, for having me here, flying all the way from Kathmandu. It was a pleasure to meet former Vice Chancellor who had visited, our restaurant back in, I believe it was 2017, and Professor Klump. I think I had the pleasure to meet you and your team back in 2018. So 2022, here I am in New Delhi. So, I was a late starter. So I started my educational journey when I was, I believe, 35. So I went into I did my bachelor's of business in marketing. So it was in Singapore campus. So back then we used to call it CQU. So it was, I have fond memories of, learning with youngsters. They were all in their 20s, and I was in my 30s. So adjusting, and this, student life was quite, there was adjustment issues back then. But I thoroughly enjoyed, learning long distance. So we used to have conference calls, and visiting professors. So as you can see, I was amongst all these young ones, but we enjoyed a lot. So learning was a great experience, peer learning, learning from doing. So those are the keys of studying with a CQ degree. So I had a great experience in presentations. So being one of the older ones, so I always had an opportunity to lead the group. So I always had to make the presentation. That came in handy when I entered my professional career. So like I said, from classroom to the boardroom. So that presentation skills that I received at the CQUniversity was an asset to me. So still today, I do a lot of presentations. So I ended up, after graduating from CQU, so I guess I did well, and so I was enrolled with University College Dublin. So I did my master's at Smurfit Business School. So after graduating, I managed this regional project called SABA. So regional meaning, South Asian, organization. So we were working with the marginalized communities, especially women. So I had opportunity to lead, this big project, and I worked there for 12 years. So after that, and I recently started this community kitchen where we are promoting cultural cuisine from different parts of Nepal and, giving a commercial value to traditional cuisine. So next slide, you can see some of the cultural cuisines that we are promoting. We are bringing out a very typical food to the, contemporary audience. So this is what I'm doing. So thanks to CQ that, I was able to graduate, which was, from a beginning, I was, before doing my academic studies, I was always doing business. I was into manufacturing and all, but after having a formal degree, I was recognized by different organizations. So, thank you, CQ, for opening the doors for me. So that degree that you provided opened many doors for me, and I was able to, go on to do my master's, and actually, I'm thank you so much for, inviting my daughter as well. She was here, but she got a little bored, I guess. So thank you for. She's 6-year-old. So thank you for having us here, and I thoroughly enjoyed journey with the CQ. And this inspired. Next slide, please. So my brother-in-law. Oh, this I forgot. I was also awarded as alumnus of the year for social impact back in 2018. So because of my contribution to the marginal communities. So this slide, my brother-in-law, who's the last graduate from CQ. So I guess the traditional will continue, I guess. My daughter was saying that, if I go to college, would I be invited to speak by the university? Hopefully so. So she's only 6 years old. So I told her that if you do well, your university will recognize you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, Robin, and what a fantastic story. And I won't take it personally that your 6-year-old daughter walked out on me. I won't blame it on my emceeing. Surely it can't be that. One of the consistent messages, though, that has struck me from our alumni was how their course and their studies have had a positive impact on their lives. At CQUniversity, we are always ensuring our courses meet industry demands. And tonight, I'm happy to share with you all today our new course, which will launch in Term 1, 2023, the Master of Laboratory Medicine. And my colleague, Dr. Paul Nielsen, will introduce that virtually. Thank you, Shivam.
Hello, I'm Paul Nielsen. and I'm delighted to be here today to talk to you about our new Master in Laboratory Medicine course. The Master in Laboratory Medicine course is an exciting new course from CQUniversity, which is launching in 2023. This 2-year Master's course provides a unique and exciting postgraduate pathway for you to become a medical laboratory scientist. Our medical laboratory scientists are the real behind-the-scenes heroes when it comes to medicine, as they conduct medical laboratory tests to aid in the diagnosis, treatment and prevention of various diseases. During the course, you'll gain some specialised knowledge and skills in areas of microbiology, genetics, immunology, clinical biochemistry, haematology, tissue histology, transfusion science and transplantation medicine. So the Master of Laboratory Medicine is at the forefront of medical scientist training as it works closely with our industry partners to ensure our graduates are work ready upon completion of their degree. As a result, you'll be having 2 clinical placement blocks totaling 560 hours of work-based training within an accredited medical laboratory pathology lab. There's really great value in those clinical placements as they really set you up to become a work-ready graduate and will really help you with employment at the end of your degree. The CQUniversity Master of Laboratory Medicine will also provide our students with opportunities in both metropolitan and regional and remote laboratory settings. When you combine that experience with the extensive laboratory skills and practical training that you'll be gaining during the course, it's really setting you up as a work-ready graduate and you will be in demand from your employers. So we also will be applying for full accreditation from the external accrediting body, the Australian Institute of Medical and Clinical Scientists. As a graduate from a fully accredited degree, you will be in demand and recognised around not just the country, but around the globe as an accredited medical laboratory scientist. CQUniversity is really proud to be producing work-ready graduates in a range of health professions over the last few decades. So based on the graduate outcomes survey data, which is conducted by the Australian government, our health graduates are about 10% more likely to gain full-time employment after their degree, and those graduate salaries for our graduates are on average about $7,000 more than health graduates from other universities. So we're very proud to be launching the Master in Laboratory Medicine at CQUniversity in 2023, and we look forward to you joining us then.
Thank you very much, Paul. That was fantastic, and we are very excited about this new program, and we have no doubt that it will make a very positive impact on students who undertake this degree. Now, on the topic of making a positive impact, I would like to now invite Mr. Matthew Johnston, Minister, Counsellor, Education and Research for the Australian High Commission in New Delhi. Before Matthew joins us, I would like to extend a warm acknowledgement to the close collaboration we have enjoyed with him and his colleagues from the Australian High Commission. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you very much, Shahan, and good evening, everyone. What an absolute pleasure it is to be before you all here today. And I have to say, there is an absolutely beautiful, positive energy in this room. And I was just thinking as I was sitting and listening to all the amazing alumni, the number of times love, warmth and heart were mentioned as descriptions. And I think that says it all in terms of the value of international education and our cross-cultural, competencies and our cross-cultural engagement that we're all having here tonight. And I'm just really proud and pleased that those are the defining words that we've heard from the alumni here tonight from CQUniversity, so congratulations. So it's a great pleasure to be with you all tonight, and I want to acknowledge and express his disappointment not to be here tonight, His Excellency the High Commissioner of Australia to India and Ambassador to Nepal, His Excellency Barry O'Farrell. Unfortunately, many demands on his time have meant he's not here tonight, but I want to express on behalf of him the Australian High Commission's heartfelt thanks for the collaboration from CQUniversity, and many congratulations to you all here tonight. So it's amazing to think about 20 years of the university here in South Asia, and I really want to acknowledge all education partners, both of CQUniversity but also of our colleagues in Austrade and of the Australian High Commission here tonight. It's lovely to see you all here together in this room, particularly after the past few years all of us have endured and experienced. Dr. Kennedy and I were very grateful and had the privilege of being in the Gold Coast for the AIEC, the Australia International Education Conference, and I have to tell you, it was like meeting up with long-lost friends after many years, and the love and warmth in that room, I think, is here again tonight. So CQUniversity's growth is at the forefront of Australia's international education engagement in this region, given you've been here with a physical presence for over 20 years. And in some respects, it mirrors Australia's development as one of the top study destinations in the world. It's a feat that is being mirrored in this region, and that one is going from strength to strength, as we have seen this year, and as Dr. Kennedy remarked earlier in the night, of the great trust and faith international students from this region have in Australia's education system. The Australian government is committed to working with all partners in international education, whether those be universities, our partner institutions here in India and around the region, and our education agents who play such a pivotal role in all the work that you do here for young people all across this region to study with CQUniversity and study with Australia. Our priorities at the Australian High Commission remain to work as a trusted partner with governments all across this region and with institutions to really deepen our relationships, to enhance collaboration between institutions, foster and increase mobility, and offer high-quality Australian education no matter where you want to study, whether that's in Rockhampton or Rocky, as everyone's been talking about tonight, Brisbane, Melbourne, Colombo, Delhi, Dhaka, Kathmandu or Thimphu. It's no secret nor surprise that education is a central pillar to Australia's relationships with India and all countries in this South Asian region. It is the flagship sector, and it is the key pillar for all that happens between us, whether that is in trade, cultural exchange, innovation, or science. Education and our institutions are central to this, and really, they're the powerhouse for driving these relationships between our countries. These are central elements to all of our relationships for all countries in this region, and I think we shouldn't underestimate the value that international education plays in really deepening our diplomatic relations, and I think you saw that tonight with these amazing alumni. So if education is a central pillar, then surely Central Queensland University is also a central pillar in the relationship here in South Asia, given your 20 years of hard work. I really want to acknowledge and thank Vice-Chancellor Nick Klomp for your leadership and vision, and in particular for your generosity and for bringing us all together here tonight to celebrate all of your university's achievements in the region. On behalf of my team at the Department of Education at the Australian High Commission, who are all here tonight, so Brett Galt-Smith, Anu Jain, Priya Raja and Shazia Naqvi, I want to acknowledge our great friend and colleague Sumit Agarwal. I'm really very grateful personally for sharing your deep... I think you'd have to know this was coming because you would do the same for us. But sharing your deep knowledge and passion for the international education sector, your story of studying in Australia to coming to heading this office here, which has the largest number of staff of any Australian university present here in the region. So we really want to thank you for your leadership, for setting high standards of integrity and ethical practice in international education in the region, and just generally for your warmth and friendship. Thank you very much to you and to your family and your wonderful staff. Congratulations to all of you here tonight. I look forward to engaging with you over the course of the evening, and please enjoy, and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnston. What has truly blown me away has been the enormous levels of support we have received from government organisations whilst preparing for this event and for the other activities we undertake in this region. One such organisation has been Trade and Investment Queensland. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Mr. Abhinav Bhatia, Senior Trade and Investment Commissioner, South Asia, Trade and Investment Queensland.
Thank you, Shehan. Thank you, Professor Klomp, and my dear friend Sumit for having us here. I am actually loss of words here after listening to what impact CQU has created with students at Salam Balak Trust and their own alumni. It's remarkable to see what they have achieved in the very short time since this association. Though 20 years seem long, I think the journey is even longer. But isn't what the whole point of education is, making a difference? And CQU is a great symbol of that and made a very big difference into the lives of all the students that went to CQU and all the students that benefited from Salam Balak Trust support. Generally, whenever I start any engagement in Australia-India corridor, I always start with cricket, because cricket is one common thread that binds Australia and India very well. But given how T20 World Cup has went for both the countries, I don't think anybody is interested in talking about cricket. In fact, one of my colleagues in Brisbane asked me that, oh, now India is out of the tournament. For the finals, who would you support, England or Pakistan? I said, oh, frying pan or fire, where do I jump? So I said, rains should win the match should be abandoned, but unfortunately my prayers were not answered. But that's the fact that for the longest time in India, Australia corridor, we have been talking about cricket, curry and Commonwealth, and that was the extent of work. But what has happened in the last few years, thanks to the commendable work done by governments on both sides, is a free trade agreement that got signed in record time and which was ratified last week in Australian Parliament and will be in force very soon. I believe that education is going to play a pivotal role in making that free trade agreement successful, and the work that CQU is doing is very symbolic of what is to come. 20 years being in the market and being a market leader, being the top choice of students is no small feat, where the competition is intense and students have so many choices to take. And I think all the agents, all the partners, the support that you have given to CQU and Australia, we truly appreciate it. And I think there is a lot of interesting things to come in the future. Other few things I want to highlight is what CQU also achieved in terms of process excellence, and I think the claim that CQU put, and which is very courageous of CQU and Professor Klom, that if the students don't find a job in their chosen field, in the field of their study, there will be a course that will be offered by the university free of cost. And that's very, very courageous, very, very thoughtful. But it also reminds me of a case study that I did in my MBA days, long time back, don't ask me when, that a German car maker selling luxury cars into India was offering 5-year free service program, and other automakers will offer 1-year car service program. And I was reading that case study and I was wondering, why would anybody do that? That would just hurt your bottom line. Why were they doing it? Because they were so confident about their quality that the cars will not break down, and that free service guarantee is merely a great marketing, it's merely a great catch that everybody would want to. So I know some students would want to take entrepreneurship, but you're so confident about your program that students are going to find great careers. That's why you are not afraid of offering this program. So I commend you for having that courage to launch. When I was preparing for these remarks, I was looking at CQU's achievements over the last 20 years and what Sumit has done. Sumit started this 20 years back, where CQU was an unknown player in the market, and now it's a dominant player, and not just within Australia, but in the whole international education landscape. And I was wondering, what next? What will Sumit aspire for now, given what he has all achieved? And then I looked back into the India story. Right now, there are 3 very interesting strands that stood out. India has 1,044 universities, 42,000 colleges, 1.5 million high schools. there is so much that is left to be done in terms of collaborating, in terms of improving curriculum, in terms of teacher training across the education sector. And I think that's where Professor Klomp and the entire leadership of CQU is looking at deeper collaboration. The second strand I saw was the innovation ecosystem. India now has over 100 unicorns, over $100 billion startups under the age of 10 years, and that's a remarkable achievement. And the kind of work CQU is doing in innovation, there is a very strong synergy in that space as well. In last 4 or 5 days, Professor Klomp and I have had a lot of engagements with the corporate sector in India, and a lot of them showed interest in micro-credentials, running hackathons, having students ready for next generation careers. And that's where I think the next 20 years of growth will come from. So Sumit, you did great in 20 years. Next 20, I think you're gonna do even more work. So sorry for outlining all of that and putting it on your KPIs. I think this night is a night for celebration, but also a night to acknowledge that a lot of hard work has gone into building what CQU has done in last 20 years. And we at Queensland Government, Trade and Investment Queensland, and our colleagues at the High Commission are always there to further support CQU and all Australian universities in making this innovation ecosystem, this India-Australia bridge, even stronger. I hope I didn't take too much of time, but Shehan, great work on emceeing. I think you kept everybody interested. So thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bhatia, and finally some acknowledgement for the work that I'm doing up here. I'm slaving it out here. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge your colleague, Ms. Anwisha Majumdar, who is the Director of Research Partnerships India. Yes, a round of applause, please. Thank you so much, Anwisha, for your tireless work and your tireless supporter of CQUniversity. We really appreciate it. We now move on to an unexpected treat for you all. Many of you will know Mr. Brett Goldsmith, who is the Counsellor, Education and Research, Department of Education, Skills and Employment, Australian High Commission. Mr. Goldsmith will be finishing his posting in India shortly, and we would like to thank him for all his hard work during this time. But what we would like to thank him even more for is that tonight he's going to reveal his inner musician with a wonderful musical performance for us all. So please enjoy and put your hands together for Mr. Brett Goldsmith.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. Congratulations, Central Queensland University, CQU. It's really lovely to see you all here. Normally I'm behind a podium rather than behind the microphone with a guitar. This is what I do at the end of the day. I play a bit of guitar. And so those young people that were musicians, I'm an example of lifelong learning, you'll see, and also coming late to a subject as well. I started playing guitar, I think, when I was 30. Anyway, when I came back to India after going back to Australia in COVID, I bought a harmonium, and I bought it down in Jorbark, which is just one of the suburbs of Delhi, and I decided to write a song about my harmonium. This is terribly out of tune all of a sudden. Just bear with me a minute. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, I'm just having a technical difficulty. This never happens at home at the end of the day, I assure you. Actually, it did happen once when I first started playing guitar. It was one of my first, I only used to play guitar in a cafe in Canberra, right? So I've normally played in front of about 30 people. And so I'm now playing in front of, 350 people or something like that. So just bear with me one moment. I'm having trouble with this. Can I just go off to one side and deal with the next person first? Sure. Thank you. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Should we go there, mate?
Okay, no worries. All right, so Brett, I think, is just building up the anticipation, you know. It's all part of the ploy.
I think this was called a moment to cherish, but it's feeling like a moment to perish at the moment. So, just bear with me, all right? It's how you deal with mistakes, all right? That's what it's all about, isn't it? Bear with me.
All right, so maybe what we will do is, just to give Brett some time, we might just go on to the signing of the MOUs with our academic partners. So, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, we are so privileged to be joined by our academic partners here in India. I feel like this is very perilous, this huge table coming onto this stage. All right. Oh. Okay, can I please ask Professor Nick Klomp and Dr. Monica Kennedy to come up to the stage, please. And Dr. Monica Kennedy will be witnessing the MOUs.
The Dean of Dr. P. Manoj.
Yeah, I'm going to call him up. Yeah. All right. Are we ready to go? Great. I would also like to invite the Dean of Amrita School of Business, Dr. P. Manoj, from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapitham, to join Professor Nick Klomp to re-sign the MOU between our two universities. The MOU will enable our two institutions to explore opportunities in collaborative research, academic and administrative collaboration, development of joint programs, and the exchange of faculty, staff, and students. The university was founded with the opening of Amrita School of Engineering in 1994 by Mata Amrita Nand Mai Devi. In 2003, it became one of the youngest institutes to be accredited as a deemed to be university by the UGC. The university has 6 campuses with 15 constituent schools in rural and urban sites in 4 Indian states. Great, yeah. Thank you very much, and now we'll just have time for a quick photo together. Thank you. Yeah. You hop in there. That's all right. Fantastic. Thank you very, very much, and we look forward to continuing our relationship. Okay. I would now like to welcome Group Vice President, Professor R.S.S. Money from ITM Group to re-sign the MOU between our 2 universities. The MOU creates a wonderful opportunity with ITM Pathway Academy for students to articulate from programs available at ITM to CQUniversity. Professor Money? Professor Money may have just stepped out for a second. That's okay. We'll just we'll move along, I think, to inviting Dr. A.N. Brajesh Nair, who is the Professor and Director of International Affairs and Global Initiatives from O.P. Jindal Global University, also known as JGU. This MOU allows for the creation of academic articulation agreements in the area of law and accounting. Please have a seat. Established in 2009, O.P. Jindal Global University is recognized as an institution of eminence by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. JGU has 12 schools and more than 10,000 students across 45 different programs. And maybe a quick photo with Dr. Monica Kennedy as well. Thanks. Fantastic. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Is Miss? Yes. That's great. I would now like to welcome Group Vice President Professor R.S.S. Mani from ITM Group to re-sign the MOU between our two universities.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great. ITM Group of Institutions was established in 1991. Today we offer the professional higher and technical education across institutions and universities located across India in various streams, including engineering, management, health sciences, hotel management, culinary arts, design, and more. The ITM Business School is ranked amongst the top 20 B schools in India. Yep. And we'll just have some quick photos. Yeah, and Dr. Kennedy, if you don't mind joining. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Professor Mani.
Thank you.
All right. And finally, I would like to invite Professor Atul Khosla, Vice Chancellor of CQUniversity University, to come onto stage to sign a new MOU between our two universities. The MOU will explore opportunities in the delivery of joint programs and collaborative research. CQUniversity University of Biotechnology and Management Sciences, also known as CQUniversity University, is a private university located near Kasuli. CQUniversity University offers courses in biotechnology, management sciences, liberal arts, engineering, agriculture, sciences, food technology, pharmaceutical sciences, law, and even yoga. And yes. Great. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone. And we're just so proud of our partnerships, which we've had previously, and our new partners also. So thank you very much to our partners, and we look forward to working together in the future. And I'm sure, as you would all agree, not just keeping it at an MOU, but making sure that we action it as well. So now, after all of that anticipation, which Brett is the consummate professional, and rock star, as I've been told. He will now perform, and let's see if we get it going this time round. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah. We need the microphone, please. Thank you so much. All right.
A stalling tactic because Pratibha Sen hadn't arrived yet, and she's always been saying, I want to hear you play guitar. So anyway, I purchased back to the story, I purchased a harmonium in January last year, and I thought, well, I've got to write a song about that. And it's from a music shop down in Newcunner Market, down off Joburg Road. This is it, called My Harmonium. Hopefully I can redeem myself with this next tune. Growing up when I was young, people said it can't be done. Living overseas is not for you. I had other plans, I said. I followed my heart instead, and now I'm studying with CQU. CQU.
laissez-faire, living in harmony under the southern sun. CQU is down there too, delivering education in a mode that best suits you. CQU supporting you, be it a Cert 3 in hairdressing or PhD in research too. Been away, but now I'm back home. Never once did I feel alone. The loving arms of people-to-people ties. They treat you like their own sons and daughters. 10,000 kilometers over the water. If Australia's calling, don't you compromise. CQU is seeking you. After 20 years in India, it's clear they're not just passing through. And finally, I dedicate this to Sumit Agrawal and his amazing Delhi crew. CQU apne kamal kya diya. Thank you very much for your persistence. I'm very nervous, but I hope you enjoy it. And congratulations.
Well, the Australian High Commission doesn't often do that. That was amazing, Brett, and thank you so much for being willing to share that with us. And Sumit, I think he's reached the pinnacle. He's had a song written about him. So, yeah, when it's your day, it's your day. The other thing that I just noticed is what Brett has probably done for all the government officials in the room. He has set the new benchmark on what needs to be done prior to leaving your post. So warm up those vocal cords and learn to play an instrument would be my advice. Please put your hands together for Brett once again. All right. Gosh, I'm not sure if we can top that, but luckily we're almost at the end, so we don't need to try to top that, but that was, yeah, fantastic. So every celebration deserves a cake. And what a cake we have today. We were hoping that Sumit was going to jump out of it, but he said no. The three layers celebrate three different occasions. The bottom layer celebrates our 20 years in South Asia. The next layer, our 10-year partnership with Salam Balak. And for the third layer, do you have any guesses who that little fondant figure could be? Brett? It sure is Brett. And the third acknowledges and farewells Brett from South Asia. Could I please invite Dr. Monica Kennedy, Mr. Matthew Johnston, Mr. Brett Goldsmith, Mr. Anubhav Nath, and Professor Nick Klomp, not onto stage, but next to the stage to cut this wonderful cake. Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. And if anyone wants to get married right now, we've got the cake, just roll up here as well. Save a little bit of money. This is actually bigger than my wedding, so I should have waited. And Brett is a marriage celebrant. Thank you very much, everyone, for that wonderful gesture. Nick, if I would be able to ask you to please come on to the stage. So now to the moment that possibly all of you have been waiting for, and that is now to announce the winners of the CQ South Asia 20 competition. So the winners are, there are 3 winners today, and the first is, and the post was done using your agency's model, so if there's more than one of you here, you might have to fight for it afterwards. But the first winner is KIEC. They're going to come. Yeah. Please come up to get your iPhone 14, because otherwise I will nab it. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, that is Sumit's daughter. Yes. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much also for your support. The second winner is Uni Experts. That's right, it is.
Is that insane?
Yes, it is. Fantastic, and thank you also for your support. And the final winner for tonight is Trans Global. Yes. Yeah. Don't be shy, just come right up. Whoever puts their hands on it first gets to keep it.
Thanks for supporting us.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor Klomp. Congratulations to the winners, and I'm actually very jealous because I think I still have an iPhone 9. So I should definitely have been posting more regularly. This actually brings us to the end of our formalities. And once again, I would like to thank you all so very much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us here this evening. I know usually Saturday would be a day that you could unwind, but here you are with us. But I think as Abhinav mentioned, we do feel like this is our family, and we're so glad that you can be here with us tonight. We're truly humbled to play a role in educating the wonderful students from this region, and we look forward to continuing to do so into the next 20 years. Thank you all very much for making this possible, and please don't forget to write a short message and sign the 2 CQUniversity standards placed beside the exit doors. This will mean a lot to us and will be hung in our South Asia office. But before we start dinner and drinks, I would like you to all join me in thanking Sumit Agarwal, Shivam Rao, and Gurpratap Singh from our South Asia office. And I can see Shivam over there, and there's Gurpratap as well. Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so very much for your tireless work in making this a fabulous evening for us all. And before I sign off, apparently what all the cool kids are doing is taking a selfie with the crowd behind us. And I will be winning the next iPhone 14. All right. What I'll do is I'll take a photo here and then here. Throw your hands up like you just don't. All right. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. And then sorry? We can do better this side. Okay, yeah. All right. iPhones for everyone, man. Thank you so much for indulging me, and thank you very much for putting up with me as your MC. Thank you, and let's celebrate now. Thank you.